The secret to helping your child overcome the age 6 crisis. Essential guidance for parents in a pivotal stage. Hello, dear parents. Today, I'd like to share a story that I believe anyone raising a 6-year-old can relate to. It's that time when your child steps into first grade, a major milestone marking their growth, but also a period when unexpected crises pop up. I know how it feels to see your little one getting cranky, sad, or even confused without knowing why they're upset. It tugs at your heart, doesn't it? But don't worry too much. Because I truly believe that with understanding and the right approach, we can guide our kids through this phase more gently. Let's dive in together. First, I want to touch on the key points I'll be sharing today, so you can get a clear picture. To start, those occasional crises in 6-year-olds are totally normal, so there's no need to panic. Next, anger and sadness are the two standout emotions tied to these meltdowns. Then, if your child has good emotional regulation skills, they'll gradually learn to calm themselves down. And finally, sometimes kids lash out simply because they can't figure out why they're feeling off. Now, let's explore each part in more detail. The age 6 crisis, normal or something to fear? Hey parents, picture this. Your child comes home from school and suddenly snaps just because their shoes got muddy. Or maybe one day, they burst into tears because they couldn't watch one more cartoon episode. Sound familiar? I want to tell you something from the heart. This is completely normal. At age 6, your child is stepping into a whole new world, school, friends, teachers, everything's unfamiliar. These changes can make them feel out of control, and tantrums are their way of showing that confusion. But if those outbursts happen too often, paired with aggression or self-harm, that's when we need to pay closer attention. I get it. Every parent wants their child to be happy, so when you see this, take a deep breath and let's figure it out together. How often is too often for a crisis? Have you ever wondered, is it normal for my child to get upset this much? How many times is too many? Truth is, there's no exact answer. I once heard an expert say that 3 mild tantrums a week are totally different from one intense meltdown that turns the whole house upside down. It's not about counting the times, it's about looking at the intensity, the duration, and how your child acts during it. Are they aggressive? Hurting themselves? Is it disrupting school or family life? If you notice these outbursts getting more frequent instead of tapering off with age, that's a signal to watch out for. I believe that observing our kids with love will help us see what's really going on. When should parents start to worry? Now, let's talk about those moments that might make your heart skip a beat. Some days, your child might be so irritable that a tiny comment sets them off. I've been there, wondering, is my kid okay? Experts say that being easily irritated is actually pretty common, even in healthy kids. What matters isn't how often they get cranky, but what they do when they're mad. Let me break it down for you. When they're sad, they might cry or plead. That's natural. Stomping their feet? That's low-level anger. Yelling or throwing things? That's medium. But if they're screaming, kicking, or hitting back, that's the highest level. I once saw a friend's little boy scream himself hoarse just because playtime ended. And I thought, he must be so overwhelmed inside. How long the tantrum lasts matters too. Kids with emotional skills can calm down bit by bit. But if they rage until they're exhausted, that's when we need to step in a little more. Serious crises, don't ignore these signs. Parents, there are times when we need to get serious. If your child's outbursts are frequent, sudden, or super intense with a lot of aggression, it's not just a small thing anymore. I heard about a 6-year-old boy who'd bang his head on the wall when upset. And his mom cried because she felt so helpless. Behaviors like hitting themselves, holding their breath, or hurting their own body are real red flags. And if these crises mess up daily life, like getting suspended from school or leaving everyone on edge, That's when we need help from professionals. I know no one wants their child to go through this. But if it happens, let's be strong and find a way to support them. Okay? How to navigate the crisis with your child. Dear parents, I know this is the part you've been waiting for. How do we help our kids? First off, if you're worried, don't hesitate to reach out to a therapist or mental health service. They're amazing allies. In the meantime, you can jot down how often it happens, how intense it gets, and what your child does during a meltdown. It'll make talking to experts so much easier. But here's the big thing I want to share from my heart. Instead of just focusing on discipline, let's teach our kids how to handle their emotions. I used to think yelling would make them listen. But it doesn't. It can scare them and make things worse. Imagine this. When they're upset, you stay calm, sit beside them, or give them a hug if they're okay with it. Some 6-year-olds don't like hugs. So I just stay close and say, I know you're really sad right now. Huh? Sometimes, just acknowledging their feelings makes them feel safe. One thing I've learned, don't give in when they're throwing a fit to get something. Like if they cry for candy before dinner. I won't cave, because that just teaches them to do it again. Instead, I'd say gently, I know you want candy. But let's eat dinner first. And then we'll have some later. Firm but kind. That's what I'm working on. Oh, and we can teach them problem solving too. Once they're calm, chat with them. Next time you're upset, what else could you do? It builds their confidence and resilience. Also, sometimes they're cranky just because they're hungry, tired, or overloaded. A snack or a cuddle can work wonders in those moments. Building love and connection, the key to parenting. Lastly, I want to leave you with a heartfelt message. Focus on the good stuff. Praise your child when they're kind or helpful. If they mess up, don't make it a big deal. Instead, show them how to fix it. Like saying sorry or giving a hug to someone they've upset. I truly believe that with patience and love, we can help our kids through this crisis and watch them grow into strong, happy people. Parents, let's keep going together, alright?